In this video, I'm going to be talking about an important event that happened on the 4th of July in the Battle of Hittin, when Salahuddin Ayyubi defeated the Crusaders, and this set the stage for the eventual return of Al-Quds to the Muslims. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Many of us are well aware of the bravery, the piety of Salahuddin Ayyubi. So I want to talk about the Battle of Hittin, which took place on the 4th of July, which is today, if you like, and give you some insights into why this battle, the Battle of Hittin, is very, very important. So we need to go back a little bit. In 1187, June 30th, we're told, Salahuddin Ayyubi and his army made their way to the land of Palestine. They entered the land of Palestine, and they wanted to face the Crusaders, who had almost for 90 years occupied this land. They'd killed or butchered its inhabitants. They literally murdered and slaughtered Muslims, these Crusaders. And so Salahuddin Ayyubi enters the blessed land of Palestine. Now, his first task is to lure the Crusaders out of their fortresses, and they were in a fortress called Safuriya. This was a spring, and they were fortified there, but he needed to find a way to get them to come out so he could fight them. So what he did was he headed north, and there's a fortress next to the Lake Tiberias. So Salahuddin Ayyubi arrived there, rahmatullah alayh, on the 2nd of July, and he laid siege to this fortress. By the evening, the Muslims had taken this. This news now reached the Crusaders who were fortified in Safuriya, and King Guy de Lusignan had a meeting where they basically decided whether they should go out. This was a mistake that they made. Salahuddin Ayyubi had a plan, because this is exactly what he wanted them to do. So an army around 20,000 Crusaders left this place, left Safuriya to make their way to Tiberias. And Salahuddin Ayyubi was waiting for them. He was anticipating their move. So as they made their move across, they just had left a place called Tur'an. They got to a place called Tur'an on July the 3rd. It was a hot day, and it's a long walk. It's only 12 miles, but it's a long walk to get there, especially when it's really, really hot. Salahuddin Ayyubi had already sent out a group of archers on horses to surround them and to start attacking them. So this army of Crusaders were now encircled, and Salahuddin Ayyubi left some people behind at Tiberias and himself made his way to Tur'an. This was a long day for the Crusaders. In the evening, the Muslims continued surrounding them, continued launching arrows at them. And the Crusaders then decided that they'd go to a place called Hittin to get some water and to replenish themselves. But Salahuddin Ayyubi was already there waiting for them. So on July 4th, this very day, Salahuddin Ayyubi faced the Crusader army. After a long battle, the Crusaders, King Guy de Lusignan, surrendered. And this battle, the Battle of Hittin, was so important because it laid the foundations for the eventual recapturing of Al-Quds. So Salahuddin Ayyubi had to deal with one more problem, which was that he needed to stop the Crusader supply chain, if you like, which was coming along the coastal areas, so along the Levant. So places like Accra, Jaffa, Ashkelon, Beirut, these places, Salahuddin Ayyubi along the coast, along the Mediterranean, he made sure that they were secure. Once that was achieved, he was a very intelligent general, very intelligent Muslim, then they lay siege on Al-Quds. We're told that they lay siege for around 10 days. Intense battles took place, and eventually on the 2nd of October 1187, Balian of Ibilin surrendered. He basically surrendered and gave Al-Quds to Salahuddin. Now it's very, very important. At the beginning I mentioned that Muslims were butchered at this place when the Crusaders came and they literally murdered Muslims, killed them. Salahuddin Ayyubi does not take his lessons from other people. That's very, very important for our day and age, because many of us, the way we behave towards our enemies, it's like we're learning from them. We do to them what they do to us. This is not the way of Muslims. This is not the way of the Prophet. This is not the way of Salahuddin Ayyubi. He agreed terms. He said, you can all go back and I will give you safe passage back to your lands. He honored that agreement. And even Balyan said, when we came, we did this. He said, look, I'm not like that, because as Muslims, we don't learn our morality. We don't learn our ways of doing things from no one other than the Prophet, peace be upon him. Salahuddin Ayyubi was a scholar, he was a warrior, but he was deeply endowed with this idea of bravery, chivalry, respect even for your foes and your enemies. And this is something very, very important, because even for those of us who have perhaps watched the movie Kingdom of Heaven will see that they have to present Salahuddin Ayyubi in a very pleasant light, because that's the truth. When I read books about Salahuddin Ayyubi written by people who are not Muslims, I'm convinced that, or when I read those books, it's clear to me that they can't lie about him, because he was just an amazing person. So this is something that we learn from Salahuddin Ayyubi. It's an important event in our history. We ask Allah to give justice to all people around the world. Allah grant patience. Allah grant victory to Muslims all around the world. Allah allow all of us to become great ambassadors for our religion, because in our day-to-day interaction, when we are interacting with non-Muslims, we need to show them the best of ways. They might say bad things about us, they might do negative things to us, but we need to become the best of people. أخرجت للناس خير أمة أخرجت للناس. You are the best of people that have been taken out for mankind. So whenever someone does something bad to us or evil to us, we raise our levels, we raise our game and become better. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us children and spouses, and bless us with spouses and children and grandchildren who become great leaders for mankind. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.